Cool. So now we have an audio track. I got my buffer really low, so I don't have to worry about latency, if you will. I'm going to place my playhead at a certain space in the project. I'm going to mute this dirty synth, and I'm going to put my playhead at bar 9. Anybody remember what the shortcut was to fast forward and rewind like you see I'm doing now? I'm using a shortcut on the keyboard. See who's been paying attention in class or here in this class. I'll check back. I'm not going to tell you what that shortcut is. I'm going to see if you remember it. I'll tell you at the end of class. So I put my playhead at bar 9. I'm saying I want to record at bar 9. Yes, Mr. Miller. And Johnny, not command period. Period by itself moves you forward by 1 bar, and comma moves you backwards by 1 bar. If I want to move 8 bars, it's shift and period. That moves me forward 8 bars. If I want to move backwards, 8 bars is shift and comma. So I'm putting my playhead right at bar 9. And I'm saying I want to start recording at bar 9 on this track. Now, before I do any recording onto this track, I always name my track first. Because the way digital audio works, it creates a parent file on your hard drive that stores that file. And then the regions reference that file. Now, if you just create a whole bunch of audio 1, audio 2, it's just not good file management, it's not good track management. And if you don't name the track initially, all of your parent files just go audio 1, audio 2, audio 3, audio 4. So it's good to name it what you want. So I'm just going to double click here, and I'm just going to call this Vox because it's just my voice. That's short for vocals. And I'm going to change the icon just because I can to a male face with a microphone in front of it. Cool. Get off of my mouse pose. All right. When I hit record, if I click record up here or use a shortcut, which is R, because my playhead is here, it's going to jump back 1 bar to give me some pre-roll. And that pre-roll is going to be a 1 bar pre-roll, which is set. I'll show you how you can change your pre-roll. It's called a count in Logic. So the count in is set to 1 bar. If you control click on this, actually not there. It's under the metronome. But I'll show you how to set your count in to a different value if you want to. But by default, you get 1 bar count in. And because count in is selected, when I hit record, you're going to see it jump back 1 bar. It's going to click. Let me zoom so you can see my bars. Okay, let's try that again. My playhead back at bar 9. And I'm going to hit record. 1 bar count in. And now it's recording my voice. So you'll notice that the playhead is red. The region that is recording is red. And the LCD up here at the top is also red, all letting you know that you are actually actively recording. And you'll see my voice happen here. Now, before I recorded, there are some things that I should have done. I actually did that intentionally because I wanted to skip the step just to see if you kind of know what I should have done. What should I have done before I actually started recording? What's up, Mr. McAfee? I should have checked the levels, right? Before you start recording, remember, you only have a certain amount of gain that you can actually set your signal before you start clipping. Once you record a clip signal, it's distorted and it's not any good to you. So you want to set your recording so that you can get a good quality signal into your recording. And I have some arm the track, yeah. You do need to arm the track. It was armed, but I need to actually set my levels first. So let me see if I can zoom in a little bit here so you can see this a little bit better. Here in the channel strip, where I actually go to record, I need to set my levels for this particular track. So as I'm talking into the microphone, and this is the track that I have selected, you'll see my signal coming in, and I have a meter up here, which is my peak level meter, letting me actually see the signal as it comes in. Now, what I usually tell my students is that if you're recording in any digital audio workstation or any digital platform for that matter, you want to shoot for an average or a peak, like where it's peaking at, the loudest peak. I want it to be somewhere no louder than -12, -9 at the highest, because what I'm trying to do is create some headroom in a digital situation. And what I mean by that, here's that 0. If I peak up here at 0, it's going to clip. It's going to distort. This is going to round off the top of the signal, and I'm going to get a clip distorted signal. So I don't want to go all the way up here and peak at -3 or -2 or -1, because at some point, even though if you set your levels and you say, hey, well, they peaked at -1, they're going to stay at -1. No, they're not. Humans, we're human. We're going to go above and beyond that at some point, and it's going to clip your signal. But if I set my peak at, -11, which is pretty much where it's peaking at now, and I'm talking at the level that I'm going to be recording, even if I go over that, let's say if I decide to yell, I've got a compressor on, so it's kind of limiting that thing from happening. But if I got a little loud, I still have 11 decibels of kind of grace period, if you will, before it actually clips. So you want to set your level. When you're setting your level to record, though, please be mindful that this fader right here, this volume fader, has no bearing on the signal that you're actually recording into the actual project, right? So if I input monitor my signal, let me arm the track. Check, check, check. So if that track is armed, what you're actually seeing now is the signal that's going into the project. This only controls what's going out back to you guys or back to my headphones. With this turned down, you can still see I'm getting the level that I want. So where do we adjust our gain? See, when I turn that back up now, you can hear the signal going out and you're hearing my signal coming in because it's going through the streaming software. Turn that off. So your gain is adjust on your audio interface. So here's my audio interface, and I can go to my preamp button here, and I've got two. This is a Apollo Twin, so it has 2 channels. Now the knob is set up for my preamp. So if I turn this back, and you'll hear my voice getting a little bit lower, you'll also see on the metering over there, I'm getting a little bit quieter. And then I can bring it back up to adjust my gain back in to get the level that I want, always watching my peak level here. Now, if that peak level gets up into, let me turn it way up. Check, check, check. I've got a limiter on the back end of this, so it's not going to allow me to clip it. As you can see, I'm getting pretty close there. Check. If this turns yellow, this number right here gets into the yellow, that means you're within 2 decibels of actually clipping that channel. If it's red, of course, you've peaked and clipped the channel. Like I was saying, I've actually got some processing on my audio interface so I don't clip and things of that nature during the actual program as I'm teaching. Now that I've got my level set, now I can actually record. So again, my playhead is at bar 9, which means I want the recording to start at bar 9. But when I hit record, it's going to jump back a bar, and you'll see a region that actually starts at bar 8. But when I stop recording, you'll notice that goes away. Watch. So now when it's actually recording, it's actually showing it. Actually, the region starts at bar 9, but I'm going to show you there's still audio that happened back here in the recording. So if I stop this, even though my playhead was at bar 9 when I started recording, if I put my mouse at the back edge of this, I get this tool. It's called a resize tool. And we're going to talk about our editing tools more in a little bit. If I click and drag this back, you'll see that there's actually a region that goes all the way back to the pre-roll or the count in. So that audio is actually there. That's just good to know. There's actually recording. The minute you hit record, even though you don't see the region start here, it knows because I had my playhead at bar 9, that's where I wanted to record at. But because I had a count in of 1 bar, it actually had that information in on the track also. And so after I record, then I can play this back and you'll just hear me talking again. I'm going to play back this. Now when it's actually recording, it's actually showing it. Actually, the region starts at bar 9, but I'm going to show you there's still audio that happened back here in the recording. So if I stop this, all right, so let me undo that. Command Z gets rid of that recording. I'm going to go back to bar 9 again.